My humble pranams at the holy feet of revered Lalaji Maharaj, revered Babuji Maharaj, revered Chariji Maharaj, revered Daji Maharaj, and all elders of our mission. Good evening, my dear sisters and brothers. Today I would like to read one of the beautiful message of Babuji Maharaj with a small story in the beginning. Okay. So therefore, first the story. So let me read one moral story such that it will be inspiring to you. Okay. Now, the story is young monk and Amarapalli, Buddha's disciple story, Zen story. Okay. So, in a Vaishali lived a famous courtess and Amarapalli. Amarapalli is a prostitute by birth. So she lived in a uh, famous quarters. She lived in a place, in a town. So she was very beautiful and was declared to be the beautiful woman on the earth. Okay. In those times, the most beautiful women of any city will not be allowed to get married to any person. So they belong. That is, so the most beautiful woman had to become the wife of the whole town. That they will keep the women as a prostitute, such that any man can go to her. That is the policy of in those time. One day she was standing on her terrace on the terrace and saw a young Buddhist monk. Okay, who had nothing, just a begging bowl he had, but had tremendous presence, awareness, and grace. So, the moment she saw him, she rushed down from terrace. She came down to him and said, "Please accept my food." She got food. After offering him food, Amarpali said, the prostitute said, "After 3 days, rainy season is going to begin, and I invite you to stay in my house for 4 days." She requested him, "Stay with me for 4 days." Young monk replied, "I will ask my master, who is Buddhaji. If he allows me, I will definitely come." After saying this, he left. Before young monk could reach assembly, monks who saw this rushed to Buddha and said, "Young monk has to be stopped." No, some disciples went before he came. They went to Buddha and told Buddha, "Young monk has to be stopped. Amarpali has invited him to his house to live for 4 months. I'm sorry, not 4 days, 4 months. And a monk staying 4 months in a prostitute's house, it is not right." They told to Buddha, the disciples. Young monk came, touched feet of Buddha and told him the whole story. A woman has invited me to her house. She is a courtesan. She asked me to stay for 4 months in her house. Every monk will be staying somewhere in somebody's house for 4 months. 4 months. I have told her that I asked my master, so I am here. I will do whatever you say. Like that, he told to Buddhaji. So, it was a shock. Uh, I will do whatever you say, my master. Okay. So, I am here. Buddha looked into his eyes and said, you can stay. No worry. You can stay with her for 4 months. It was a shock. Thousands of monks who were there couldn't believe that Buddha has allowed a monk to stay in a prostitute's house. That's it. After 3 days, young man left to stay with Amarpali and other monk started gossiping. Okay. Buddha said to them, you should keep silent. 4 months will pass and I trust my monk. I have looked into his eyes. There was no desire. If he had said no, he would not have felt anything. I said yes. He simply went. Buddha said, if I say yes, he will okay, he will accept. If I say no, don't stay there, that also he will accept. That is what I observed in his presence. If a monk, why are you all getting so agitated and worried? Buddha asked the disciples. If a monk's meditation is deep, then he will change Amarpali. And if his meditation is not deep, then Amarpali may change him. It is now a question between meditation and physical attraction. Just wait for 4 months, Buddha said to his disciples. Despite this, disciple thought, Buddha is trusting too much. That man is too young and Amarpali is too beautiful. He is taking unnecessary risk. They commented on Buddha himself, Lord Buddha himself. After 4 months, young man came and touched Buddha's feet. That is over 4 months, and he came, touched Buddha's feet. Following him came Amarpali. Along with him, Amarpali also came to Buddha. She touched Buddha's feet and said, I tried my best to seduce this young monk. She tried all her means to seduce, spoil this young monk. But it was all useless. So she could not succeed. Instead, he convinced me by awareness that real life is at your feet. See, this young monk, he convinced her, the prostitute, no, this is not the good business. My dear, say, my dear sister, this is not the good way of life. You have to go and surrender to Buddha, Lord Buddha. Only then your purpose of life will be fulfilled. Hence, he has changed the prostitute instead of prostitute changing him. So therefore, I want to give. So the prostitute is confessing. She was telling Buddha, I want to give all my possession to the commune of your monks. Whatever possession I have, all my treasure I will give to all of your monks, disciples. I don't want anything. I want you only. That is what she told. Later, Amarpali became one of the enlightened women among Buddhist disciples. You see, to get enlightenment, no, no question of any different in nature, any difference in the human beings. Anybody can get enlightenment, provided they should give their self to the great master. So therefore, if meditation is deep, if awareness is clear, nothing can disturb it. That is what Buddha said to all. Okay, that's all with the story, and I shall go for reading the master's message. Please, it will take another 5 minutes time. Babuji Maharaj said, you must be sure that unless calmness of mind, see, unless internal peace, unless internal peace, calmness of mind, simplicity and lightness follow as the natural result of your practices, you are proceeding on the wrong lines, and that your training is defective. That is what Babuji told. See, what is the progress? One Abhyasi asked, how can I know that I am progressing in spirituality? I am doing regularly, I am doing all the sadhana, but I don't know whether I am progressing in the spirituality or not. How to find out? Then Babuji simply said, you see, if you feel lighter and lighter day by day, then you are progressing. That is a sign of progress. Here also he is telling this calmness, internal peace, and then lightness. If it follows, then only your practice is real. Otherwise, your practice is defective. That should be realized, what Babuji says. So that is, you are going in the wrong lines, not in the righteous or right lines in spirituality. Thus, the real spiritual training is that which makes our mind disciplined and regulated, restores moderation in senses and faculties, and creates lightness of spirit. You see, these things should be there. We must feel all these things, whatever Babuji Maharaj has mentioned here. Only then we are progressing. Not just imagining ourselves that we are progressing, that will be regressing, not progressing. So Babuji is telling, thus a real spiritual training is that which makes our mind disciplined and regulated, restores moderation in all our activities, and moderation in sense perceptions should get modernized, should get regulated. The mind should get disciplined because it is indisciplined, irregulated. So disturbed state of mind what we have, that should be transformed. Then lightness should continue. We should feel lightness. Only then the samskars are reducing. Slowly we should feel lightness. That is the progress in spirituality. Okay. Training, otherwise your training is defective. That's all. This is not for our abhyasis. Wherever, the entire humanity, he is telling, Babuji is telling that you should be cautious. And he is giving the, what is called the proof for your spiritual progress. These are the qualities you should possess. Only then you are progressing. See, we want that only, no? Wherever we want some address, we want our destination to go to some address, we have to ask the people. They will direct. You go like this, you go like this, you go like this. Then finally you will be reach your destination. We have to take the guidance from others. So the same guidance Babuji Maharaj is giving here. That is the thing. Faculties and creates lightness of spirit. Then alone internal peace and calmness is ensured. See the calmness while doing meditation that I have referred also. I have the same thing I told in several messages, and I am again repeating it because Babuji is telling that when we are doing meditation, we go deep into the heart. Then just when we go deepest in the bed of the heart, we feel calmness. Like when we go on digging the earth, then finally say some, we cannot say 100 feet or 150 feet, we find water. So like that in the well of this heart, go on probing, going inside, then what you come to a final state, that is calmness, which is the characteristic of the soul. So that is a characteristic of the soul. That is what our real condition. Okay, you understand? But what to do? From calmness to disturbance, we have been brought by the irony of fate. So we have to go back, go back to that state of ultimate calmness. So therefore, Babuji is telling that then alone internal peace and calmness is ensured, and a higher approach is possible. So when we feel all lightness, calmness, internal peace, and discipline, mind is getting disciplined, only then what happens? Then, and higher approach is possible. Higher approach, we have to progress higher approach will be given by the master. And we have to take care of health also. That is one thing. So therefore, it is possible what Babuji is telling. Higher approach is possible. For this, the medium of a master of high caliber, who can give you higher approaches? That you have to test your master and find out. There is no other way. Everyone has their own masters in this world, and they develop belief, faith in their master to reach their destination. It is up to the individual. Nobody can infuse or nobody can force you to have some person as your master. So, or my master is your master. No, that will not work. So the heart decides heart, Babuji told. The heart knows who is his master. That master only the heart. In the heart, the Abhyasi will worship and pray. So therefore, here what he is telling, therefore, the medium for the medium of a master of high caliber, okay, having the power of transmission. So that's the real spiritual means that your training is defective. Thus the real spiritual training is that which makes our mind disciplined and regulated, restores moderation in senses and faculties, and creates lightness of spirit. Then alone internal peace and calmness is ensured, and a higher approach is possible. For this, the medium of a master of high caliber, having the power of transmission at his command, is absolutely essential. And to him, the aspirant must surrender with full faith and confidence. That's all. So that should be there, full faith and confidence on the master who himself has reached that ultimate condition of reality. That master, such a master, only can take any human being on this earth, or any abhyasi, or any aspirant, any follower. Babuji can take that. Such a divine master can only take the abhyasi to the highest condition of reality by giving progress, spiritual progress. Slowly and steadily he will take the abhyasis to the ultimate condition of reality. So we must always That is, we have to thoroughly study the master before accepting the real master, like Babuji Maharaj. Okay, that's all today. Have a nice day, and I take leave from you. Next time, if, if he wills, definitely I will come and read another beautiful, inspirational message of Babuji Maharaj or any Lalaji Maharaj or Chariji Maharaj or Daji Maharaj or Sister Saint Kasturiji. I shall definitely read. All people are great people, great souls, and they are all in the highest condition given by the great Master Babuji Maharaj. Therefore, we should always give respect and reverence to all our masters. We have to put complete faith in our master. Otherwise, we may lose we may lose the opportunity to reach our goal in this very life. So therefore, let us all means remain at the holy feet of, or remain as a dust particle under the holy feet of the great master, divine master, and wait for his mercy, grace, mercy, sympathy. We are expecting, like a beggar with a begging, not knowing what to ask. So like that, we have to become really a beggar. See, Lalaji Maharaj told, what is the qualification of a saint? Long back I have studied. So that what he said, a saint must will possess the absolute poverty, number one. Then sickness, ailment, permanent ailment, alternate day he will get some disease or the other, and finally a fault finder. These three qualities a saint will have. Therefore, let us all reach the great master and merge in him in toto and become a saint, such that our fellow beings, sisters and brothers of the world, they will also get benefit out of our love and devotion for the master. That's all. Thank you very much. Om Shanti.